All right, hey everybody, this is Joey here with Dixie Doggers. Got my cameraman Nate. He's going to join us today. We're going to do some discussing on how to go on a hunt. I mean, pretty much bare basics, cutting it back to where you are just someone who doesn't know anything about hog hunting, someone who has never been on a hog hunt, someone who has never ran dogs or done anything, So, all right, I mean, because we deal with a lot of people, that have hunted before in the past, and they have a lot of knowledge of it. We've dealt with some people who don't have any knowledge of it, and it can be a two-edged sword both ways. I mean, if you take somebody calls you, or you see a buddy of yours that you know he runs dogs, you want to go on a hog hunt with him, that's cool. He invites you, go with him. But there's also kind of some unwritten rules that you need to know, but not everybody knows them. Because if you haven't been around the hunting world or this industry, then you have no idea, other than what you see on TV. And a lot of stuff that you see on TV is just, it's a 30-minute show that has been recorded for sometimes weeks to get that footage to make it happen. It's not just go out there one time, bam, and it happens. That's not really how it goes all the time. So
no.
We've had some instances
some interesting ones.
Yeah. So I mean, Nathan is my son, and I mean, I started carrying him hunting when I started going hunting, as far as hog hunting with dogs, and I got invited to go with someone else, and I've loved it ever since. And I mean, I'll always be thankful and forever grateful to Clay Austin, who's the guy that carried me out the first time. My Uncle Frank is the one that actually asked for, got invited for us to go with him. And it just so happened that I went to high school with Clay 15 years earlier and hadn't seen him that whole time, and didn't know that he hog hunted or anything. And I'd always wanted to go on a dog and knife hunt, and he was working on a job that my uncle was doing, and wound up getting together on that one, and it turned out to be it's been many years now. Yeah. Many years. So anyway, we'll get off that. We'll get to the point about, all right, how to actually apply this to a hunt. First thing to do is to be on time.
Always, at least, or if not earlier, in case something comes up and you got to meet somewhere different, or they need ice and you can volunteer to go get ice, or a million other things.
Yes, don't drag ass around, and because you're sitting there and you're like, well, you're not really a morning person or this or that. Don't come up with all that junk.
Don't go out drinking the night before you're supposed to go hunting.
No, don't lay out drunk.
I've never seen that turn out good.
No.
Even if you do show up on time, it's usually a rough day.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like I said, if you can partake during the hunt, maybe after the hunt, whatever. But main thing is be on time or be early. Like I said, that's one of the biggest things, is because like I said, we're stripping this back to where you don't know what all this is the complexity of this is. You're 100% newbie in this. So, I mean, these guys have dogs that they have to take care of. They have to get all the dogs together. They have to load everything up, dog boxes, make sure all their tracking collars are charged and ready to go, make sure all the cut gear stuff is ready, make sure they have the keys to the gate. They got everything. They got to do all this other
bunch
stuff.
Of overhead.
You got to load up, your side by sides or four wheelers or your hunt trucks, whatever. There's a whole process to doing all that nobody really sees. And I mean, you just show up, you jump out, they've got everything ready, so automatically you just like, well, this ain't nothing.
Yeah.
It is. Just if you're supposed to meet at 6 o'clock, the guys that are putting on the hunt, they got up at 3. Even if it's a 30-minute drive, they still got up several hours early to be there. And if you live in the same area, you could have slept till 5, got your clothes on, left, and been there in a 30-minute drive, and still been there by 6. So there's a big thing, and it's really something that goes unappreciated. People do not appreciate it, and there's so many of them that go on a hunt and say you go out, you don't kill anything. They're like, well, you can always tell the ones who have never hunted, because it's like most of the times you can tell that they're upset because they didn't kill anything, or because maybe the dogs didn't work that good. Well, maybe there was no sign there. Maybe the hogs have moved out. They don't stay in one spot every day. But like I said, as stripping it all the way back to, if you were a newbie, you wouldn't know that. So think about these things. Think about that stuff. So next thing, Nate, what would you say?
Another big thing is don't bring extra people unless it's been discussed. Like, don't get there and have your old lady and both of your 6-year-old twin daughters, because that's usually a big headache. Not to sound misogynist, but that goes with any old lady or any kids. Don't bring any of them unless it's been discussed, because it usually turns into a whole other form of headache.
Or until at least you've been on a hunt yourself. Like I said, we're not talking about people who are just going out to hunt. Don't take it like that.
No.
We're talking about if you've just been invited on a hunt, and you met this guy through a friend, or you talked to him at the store or at the co-op or whatever, and he says, hey, you're more than welcome to go with us. You call him, y'all arrange it, you get there. Don't have all the doors on the minivan open. We carry, I've got 5 girls of my own and 3 boys. So, we're not, like I said, we're not trying to say don't carry little girls or women. We're not trying to say that. We're just saying, if you're a man and you have a family, don't bring your whole family out on that first hunt. No. Go out there, get a feel of it, because it can be a dangerous situation. If you don't know what to do, then how would you protect anything? The guys that are taking you hunting, they've got dogs and hogs and other people that they have to worry about as well as you. And then adding 2 or 3 more people to it, it can be very, very stressful for everybody. And, the woods, most of them, they aren't equipped with restrooms or, any kind of services like that for smaller children or for somebody who needs it. Most guys and a lot of women, they can just, whip it out right there in the woods. But if you've never been there, and this is your strip all the way back to being a beginner, think about these things. And then, make sure that you pitch in. If you need to meet them at their house, get there early enough that, hey, don't be scared to grab a dog and throw it in the box. Ask them which box it goes in. Ask them, like, you want me to hold the dog? Sometimes somebody standing there just holding the dog for you to collar them up or to put a vest on is a tremendous help. And because you only got 2 hands and 2 legs, and there's some dogs you got to wrap them up, hang on to them, and get them off, because they're fired up. They're high energy dogs. They're not just going to just lay around and wait on you to kick them and get them started. That's one of those things that just a lot of people, and it's not that I don't think it's that they don't want to do it. I think they're nervous.
Yeah,
or they don't want to overstep their boundaries.
They don't want to get in the way.
Yeah, they don't want. Yeah, you don't want to get in the way and stuff like that. But
never hurts to ask.
But at least
all you do is ask.
At least show that you want to do it. If the guy says, "I'll take you hunting," and you ask him, "Was like, well, how much would you charge me?" He's like, you ain't got to worry about that, man. We're all just going hunting. And that's the way most hog hunters are. Oh, yeah. Especially for local folks. You just, hey, let's load up and go.
Because I promise you're going to be massively in the hole if you just recreationally hunt hogs. There's a lot of overhead and a lot of money and a lot of time in it.
Well, yeah.
It would.
Anyway, pitch in on gas, drinks, whatever. Even if the guys are, the hunt master, if he says, don't worry about it, like I said, at least offer. and be sincere about it. Don't just do it to pacify it. Do it because you appreciate it. Like I said, until you've ever really done it all the time, a lot of people don't appreciate what goes into it. And I mean, if you go, say you've done went 1 or 2 times now, we're past the newbie stage, and you've done went 3 or 4 times and you got you a pup. I know a lot of guys do that. They go a couple times, they go get them a pup, or they go get a grown dog, or they've got a dog at their house. Man, I'm gonna bring my dog with me. Don't do that. Don't drag your Labradoodle. I'm not saying a Labradoodle won't make a hog dog, but if it's not a hog dog, don't bring it on someone else's time to try to do all that, especially when you're just now getting started. That's where you have to put in your time, your effort, your money, your work. There's going to be a lot of guys that's going to help you, and I'm one of those guys. I've told literally hundreds of people, bring your dog. I'll take it. I'll hunt it with ours if you don't have time, or you can bring it and hunt it, but don't just show up with it's what we're saying. Don't just jump out the shaggin' wagon with, Scooby and Shaggy, and let's just say, okay, we're going to go on this huge ordeal, because that's what it becomes, this ordeal. Then, people aren't in the best mood, and then it leads to not being invited again.
Yeah.
And so let's see what else we got. We got some stuff wrote down here. Don't tell people how to hunt. You're the guest. Don't express what you've learned by rabbit hunting to go on a hog hunt.
No.
Don't express what your grandpa's foxhounds did and the way that they done theirs in the 50s and 60s. Don't express what your cousin or your uncle or your brother-in-law's hog dogs do in Texas when you're in Alabama or Mississippi. It's not the same. The dogs are totally different as far as the aspects and the style of hunt that you have to do and the things that you have to prove on these dogs. It's not just, you can't apply them the same everywhere you go. So, anything on that?
That doesn't mean you can't just shoot the breeze about it and discuss the dogs and how they've done this and how they've done that.
Yeah.
But don't try to make it say for example, well, my grandpa would never cast his dogs in this direction towards this type of terrain. He would always hunt them up this way instead or something like that. You just sound like a dickhead.
Yeah, don't do no dumb shit like that. That's crazy.
No.
I was gonna say retarded, but you can't say retarded anymore. So. But it's retarded, so don't do it.
Yeah.
Stay for the whole hunt. Don't bring your raggedy self out there and get this, skim the cream off the milk. Go out there, dogs are doing good, hogs are running everywhere, catch 3 or 4. Then all of a sudden I gotta go. No. If you go on the hunt, stay for the whole hunt. If those dogs are out, stay till they come back in. There's been many, many nights where I'm sitting there thinking, Lord have mercy, I wish these dogs would just come on back, or I wish they would just quit and come on in. And deep down inside, why would you want them to quit? That's what we're after is the bottom. We want a dog with some bottom to it. But that's what I'm saying though. Is just don't run off when the guys need help catching the dogs up, loading hogs up, loading the dogs up, loading the 4-wheelers, loading the buggies, the side-by-sides. If get down to the butchering and the processing part of it, hey,
don't skip on dragging.
Stay there. Start dragging. Take that dog leg.
Dragging is greatly appreciated.
Yes, take that dog leg, wrap it around the leg, and get after it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't keep jacking around about something, just because you're lazy. If you're lazy, this is not the sport for you. Really, I don't feel.
No. There's going to be some work involved in any form of dog hunting.
Yeah, but this is it's ridiculous. Because it's like the first, we don't really run during deer season a lot. So usually from November to February, we're kind of off. We don't do it.
Yeah.
Man, the first 2 or 3 hunts, it's like, I'm hitting the ground, sucking wind. Then then I get back at it. Then I get in shape and I'm ready to go. And so, I mean, especially where we're at, because where we're at, it's nothing but mountains and hills. I mean, it's not a lot of flat terrain. We love to go to flat terrain. We love it.
So
the
much
dogs love
easier.
it too, and you can tell because they just go and go and go. You can tell it's easier on them. That's for sure. All right, next one. What you got, Nate? Don't talk to someone's landowner.
Yeah, if you go hunting, and this goes for no matter how long you've been hunting.
Period.
I don't care if you own twice as many dogs that are twice as good with the best up-to-date stuff, and you go down here with so-and-so who still hunts with a 220 and DC 40s,
Or worse.
and they're down here, but they have a great spot, and it's a huge hunting club. Don't go over here to the side and start talking to one of the hunting club members or the president or anything like that.
Don't do
And try to like, well, I could also come down here when he can't, or
that.
that's just being shady in general. Or even if you don't go with somebody, if you know so and so's hunting this farm down here,
Don't take your ass over here trying to mooch in on him.
yeah, don't go call the landowner and be like, hey, I could also help with the hogs. No, he's already got somebody. Leave it alone.
Yep.
Because most of the time, the people that don't call, and if it doesn't work out, you're the first ones to get called.
Just had that happen. Hunted a big place for six years or so, I guess, 6-7 years. And some other guys, they wound up getting their own dogs and stuff and traps and done. Hey, and they hunt, and they kill hogs. I think they've done a great job.
They put meat on the table.
You know, so we kind of stopped going so much. We joined them and hunted with them some too. So we kind of just backed out of it. They were actual members of the club, and we weren't. We just went and hunted because there were no other hog hunters. And once they came about, it was. You know, it's time for us to back off and let these guys just wear it out. Well, it's been a couple of years now, and the hogs are really rampant, and they're overrunning it. You know, a lot of people they start out real strong. They get a good pack of dogs built up. You know, they'll work them, and then a lot of guys jobs won't let them do it as much as they would like to. So they kind of fizzled out a little bit, and so that's what's happened. Those guys, and they've got other properties to hunt as well. So now it's the new wore off, and now the actual owners, they're calling us again. They're like, look, I really need y'all down here. The very first thing I said is like, look, you already have some guys in there that are hunting. He said, well, they're not hunting anymore. They're not killing the hogs. They're just showing up every now and then. All that good stuff. And so I don't, it's one of those deals where I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I don't want to get in on that. But, I was never told to not hunt it. And I was never asked to not hunt it to begin with. So it's one of those things, that's where the longevity part comes in. People know they can call you after you've been doing it for the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever. People know that they can call you and depend on you, so that's the guy they're going to call. So unless you want to stay in it for the long haul, then expect that to happen, because if you don't take care of your property, going back to what we just said, tell these other guys, like, don't call my landowner, don't talk to the hunt club members, don't do this. But in the same sentence, is if you're not doing your job, they're going to call them. Now, like I said, out of respect, I usually call that other guy and be like, look, are y'all still hunting up there or what? What's going on? So-and-so called me, told me what's happening. Or they'll say, no, man, we ain't hunting up there, or go ahead, or whatever. I don't want any kind of animosity. I don't like any kind of conflict like that.
Yeah.
It just, to me,
that usually eliminates all ill feelings. There's no sense of any shadiness going on or nothing like that.
You might get your feelings hurt because, they called somebody else because you didn't do what you done. And a lot of that is, it ain't really that you got your feelings hurt. It's that you let your own self down. Because you're sitting there thinking, like, well, I know I'm better than this. I should have done this or should have done that. And then sometimes people just don't give a damn. They're like, shit, I don't care. Yeah. That's just the way it goes. So let's see what else we got here. Take all your trash with you. That's a given. I mean, you bring anything, take it with you. water bottles, beer cans, cracker wrappers or whatever, vanity cans, anything that you have that you would have out in the field or in the truck or whatever with you, you know, take it with you. Don't leave your trash for somebody else to haul around or pick up or anything like that. It looks bad on everybody if anything's on the ground, no matter who threw it down. But if you're the one that's with somebody who has permission to hunt that place, the hunter is going to feel the repercussions, not you, because you're just a guest. Don't be that guy. Don't be the guy that constantly is just in the middle. He's got to be right in the middle of everything. He's got to be the loudest. He's got to carry on the most. And there's nothing wrong with joking and laughing and doing all this stuff, but if you run hog dogs, everybody knows when you're standing there and the guy with the alpha looks down and he does this, shut up. What happens? Shut up. Everybody shut up so you can hear, because a lot of times, and be honest with you, long range dogs, good medium range dogs, I don't even know why, because most of the time you can't hear them. It's just a thing. It's like shut up because you're trying to concentrate on what's going on. So we had this happen not too long ago. We're standing there, every time we turn the dogs loose, well, we get ready to cast them, and we'll get into some of that later. We do different styles of hunting. We have different styles of dogs for those each different styles. You know, we have dogs that will free cast. We have dogs that we can take them and just cast them in a certain direction. We have dogs that pretty much we just walk hunt them in smaller properties that are short range, real rough dogs. We have some long range dogs with bottom that won't quit. You know, so, but anyway, we was trying to cast these dogs, and everybody casts their dogs differently, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
If you take your dogs and you open the dog box, the dogs follow you, you walk them, as soon as you get right there, you stop. We let the dogs go ahead of us, let them get going out. Everybody be quiet. Let the dogs get something. We'll find a good track or something first. All right. Let the dogs get going out good. Everybody's quiet. Well, after 30 seconds, a minute, however long it takes them to get 100 yards, 200 yards out, then we can start talking and shooting the breeze again. But this one guy, we let the tailgate down, and about the time the dogs made it 20 feet down the road, oh, my grandpa done this, or he'd start hollering at somebody else and calling their name, and then the dogs, young dogs especially, they would turn around and come back because he was over there calling different names. And so, maybe it's just me. I don't know. Y'all can give us some feedback on it, Yeah,
it's kind of like bringing a bunch of people around the dogs. If you walk hunt, you can't have 30 people out there walk hunting. It just doesn't. I don't know. The dogs never perform as well if they're around a bunch of people they don't know. One or two is okay, especially like when cast hunting though, because they get out from under your feet. But walk hunting, they usually check back in pretty regular. Ours do at least, and also, don't get falling out drunk while you're hunting. It's okay to drink if you're of age or whatever. If you're grown enough to do it.
But don't let us have to carry you.
Yes. That's terrible. No matter how long you've been hunting.
Yeah. Just
don't get hammered. I've never seen it work out good.
No, but I've seen it happen a bunch of times.
I can't drive home. Like, dude, you live an hour away.
Yeah, it's like I can't drive you 2 hours the opposite direction because
we live different areas.
It's like I live in north central Alabama and you live in South Alabama. I can't do that. Yeah. But that's happened. It has happened. That's going to be another thing that we do. I think we're just going to tell some good stories too, because we've had some doozies. Ed Barnes, he wrote that book he just wrote. He told some stories in it, and for years now, I have kind of journaled some of my stories. Pretty much every hunt, I'll just write down what happened or whatever, and I know it might sound weird, whatever to a lot of guys, and I get back sometimes I start reading through them, and that shit's so funny. I get tickled, and you can relive those hunts. They're bright and vibrant. I challenge you to do that. Especially you younger guys, do that now, and then 15 years from now, 20 years from now, go back and start reading some of that stuff, and you're gonna be like, oh my Lord, and you're gonna look at the difference, either how much you have matured and how much easier things are, how much better life is, or you're gonna say, oh shit, I messed up somewhere, because it's gonna be bad.
Oh
But-
yeah.
But I mean, like I said, we've always got some pretty good stories to do that. So, well, like I said, these are just some of the kind of the unwritten rules and kind of code of conduct that we're trying to pass out to new people that are new to this sport. Guys, if you have hog hunted more than twice, 3 times, this is not for you. So don't get your panties in a wad. Don't start telling me how wrong I am to do this or that and all that stuff. Please don't do that. We're just trying to be helpful. We're not trying to step on anybody's toes or say you've done anything wrong. This is strictly my opinion, his opinion. This is not something that's written down and stamped in stone. We haven't passed it through Congress or none of that shit.
And
So,
this can vary from area to area because some people aren't real particular about landowners,
oh, yeah.
and some people can all get along. But most people around here, you got to fill them out first because most people make an ass of themselves in the
here-
long run.
Well, in our state, we live in Alabama.
Everything's private land
Everything's
too.
private land. Everything's posted. There's some public land, but you're not going to get to hunt. You can't run no dogs on hardly any public land. We have a few management areas that you can do. Well, no, they have we have the one hunt down south.
Yeah, but it's so
That's
far
it.
south. But
I mean,
that's all I know of.
That's the only one that you can actually go in. The national forest, you can hunt them, but you cannot hunt in the management areas. So, kind of, unless you really put your boots on the ground and get out and scout, it's really hard to get on any public land hogs here in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
But I know some guys that regularly catch big hogs on public land, and I don't know if they're being 100% truthful about it, 100% legit on it. I don't know.
It could be state land. Never can tell.
Yeah,
which
but
is a whole different section.
Yeah, state land now. We have state land. It's public land, and you can hunt it as long as nobody's leasing it.
Yeah, that's the
Because
other
here you
thing.
can lease state lands also.
It's all kinds of crazy.
Yeah. And and that's another thing I'd like to get into. Talk to some people who can give us some input on how the stipulations are in other states too. So that way, we're not, because it gets misconstrued a lot of times. You get
Yeah.
online and you're looking at the your game and fish guidelines and rules and regulations, and Alabama. I mean, you got one page here that tells you something, and you flip it and it tells you exactly the opposite. So you don't know.
Yeah.
And so, if any of you guys might know some other laws or something like that for our state here in Alabama, hey, shoot me a message or anything, comment below. Let us know what's going on. If there's any rule changes that you know about that have to do with hog hunting. That's what this episode's about here is hog hunting.
And if there's any
With dogs.
And if there's any unwritten rules that you have in your area
Yes.
that we haven't expressed, let us know.
Well, you gotta
will
let us know, 'cause
let-
we don't know,
Oh, yeah.
because then we're gonna be like that rookie, like we're talking about, the new guy. Everybody had to be the new guy at one time.
It's not fun.
Well, I mean,
You trying to-
we gave up. Man, I caught a lot of shit from some of them, but we honestly, we just joke, cut up. We have a good time. We try not to have any kind of altercations of any form or fashion. I've had a few out in the woods, and I had to change up the whole way I done everything. I had to, and I think that's why a lot of guys, after they've done it for a pretty good while, they kind of quit worrying about taking other people hunting. It's kind of like, you know what? I'm not going to drag everybody out to do this. They don't appreciate it. And then they show, like you said, some of them get drunk, show their ass. I've had them where they were done pop some pills or something and got tore up. I've seen it to where somebody else drugged somebody while we were hunting. And I mean, this happened to be a good friend of mine. Next thing you know, he's over here talking crazy. He fell out on the ground. It's like, what in the world happened? And so,
Also, make sure to stay hydrated. Because,
well, yeah, I mean, it's,
yeah, if you're going to go, like I said,
If you're
alcohol's not going to help. But if you're hunting during the summer, you can stroke out.
well, yeah. Exactly.
We've seen people get dehydrated and pass out.
I have.
Dad's done it. Also, don't bring a gun unless it is discussed. Also, don't
Holy
come in
shit.
there
You're not Dirty Harry.
with a 300 Win Mag. Like, dude, you're not gonna get a shot. Or don't come in with a Smith & Wesson 500 pistol
or damn AR. Running
nothing
around the woods like, well, I brought my AR with me just in case. I'm like, no.
You're gonna shoot my dog.
Yeah, the just in case deal is usually solved with the pit bull, or the dogo, or the Airedale, whichever you prefer. That's kind of the
Or a big white red-headed man.
just whatever, you know. Yeah, most guys they go in there, grab a hold of it, shut it down. You know, if you go, and be careful who you go hunt with, new guys. If you've never went hunting before, hey, kind of ask around a little bit about that individual, because I went hunting with a guy one time. I'm not gonna say no damn names. This guy, dude, we were in a place that we were not supposed to be in. Not gonna incriminate myself, but we were in a place we weren't supposed to be in, and I did not know this. And so I'm talking to his brother a few weeks later, and he's like, "Man, I can't believe you went hunting with him." I said, "Well, you know, just like to go hunting, you know." And it was during the week. It was on a weeknight, you know. A lot of guys had to work. I had to work too, but I was still pretty new to hunting. I'd been hunting for about a year or two. And we go, and I thought it was kind of funny that night. He told me, because he parked down the hill, he said, "Hold on, let me go up here and unlock the gate." And I was just sitting there, I wasn't thinking nothing about it. We were probably 25, 30 yards down the bottom of the hill. It wasn't that far. I seen him walk top of the hill, and then he came back down. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I wonder why the hell didn't we just drive up to the top of the hill? So, I mean, use your imagination. I guess he unlocked the gate, you know. So, anyway, it was definitely, it was something else. So, I don't know. Just be careful when you do that kind of stuff. You know, if you have time to plan out a good hunt with somebody, you know, also if you've got a 4-wheeler or a side-by-side or something like that, that could possibly be a real helpful deal.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're going to go, that way you're not, you know, not everybody scrunched up too tight. If you've got one, ask them, say, "Hey, do I need to bring my 4-wheeler?" Don't get there and then everybody's standing around and they're all piled up on top of each other, and then you say, "Well, I had to do side-by-side at the house." Well, you should have brought the damn thing.
Because it can definitely
it's common
be helpful.
sense. A lot of it's just common sense.
Yeah.
But if you've never done it, then you don't know.
Exactly.
And one reason I'm doing this whole little deal right here about somebody who's never done it, because recently I have met, I'm talking about one person after the next that's never hunted, and they're in their 30s and 40s.
Which I'm glad to see
we,
that
yeah,
happening.
I mean, we want to see them in the woods, and I'm not talking about going hog hunting with a knife. I'm talking about
just hunting in
have
general.
never hunted at all, but they're open-minded enough to try it. And everyone that has tried it, I have not seen not one that didn't like it, that says, "Oh, that was too much for me," or "No, I couldn't handle that." All of them were like, they get into the conservation part, they put in their time, their money. Hey, it works out. So try to educate the public as you go along too. Don't be a jerk when somebody asks you a question. You know, explain it to them. Don't be a smart ass. You know, I guess right before deer season, we had a dad with two young boys. They just rode by, stopped and talked to us for a few minutes. They were actually with the landowner, and the boys started asking us about the hogs and this and that. Well, about an hour later, both of them had got their first hog as well as their dad. So I told them, you know, basically we can show you better than we can tell you about it. So don't make the hunt all about yourself either, guys. You know, spread it out a little bit, make it happen.
It's fun. It's enjoyable.
Don't leave all the hogs in the woods after you get done with them. Hey, if you know somebody that needs some, you know, take it and drop it off. Now, I do understand, and I have been there a bunch. Everybody, "Hey man, you get a hog. Next time you get one, let me know." Or you're on Facebook, there's 75 people commenting saying, "I sure would like some fresh pork. I sure need one."
They want you to skin it and clean
They
it
want you to
and
cook
butcher it up. Yeah. And then bring it to them. They want to meet within 10 minutes of their house.
Well, even if you bring it to them, there's always some kind of crap they're coming up with. They're like, "Well, I can't do it today. I got a wedding." or I can't do it now, or can we just do it tomorrow or whatever. I'm like, look, I've already, we already field dressed it. It's ready. And there, not long ago, I had a couple. I mean, they were already quartered up, done been butchered, for the most part. The basic butchering part of it. They were ready to go. Guy specifically called and asked me, said he needed these for a couple of people. That was it. They're in the freezer now, though. So, snooze you lose. But now, when they call again, like I said, that's probably just going to be the end of that conversation about them. So, there's no sense in just to keep on doing something. If somebody doesn't appreciate it, then it doesn't matter. So.
No, it does not.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, what's today?
That's Sunday.
This is Sunday, the 27th, so it's right after Christmas. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, and have a great New Year that's coming up too.
Eat your collards and your hog jaws.
Yeah. What else is it? Your collards and pintos and hog jaws and cornbread.
I don't know.
You're supposed to eat all I think everywhere has something different that they do.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Because I know
we need to look into that, so that way when we're sitting there talking bullshit, we can be like, hey, you got to eat pinto beans.
I know collards is money.
Collards about money, pinto beans, all, and you're supposed to put a penny in something. I don't know. I don't know.
I just know it's good food, so I'm not going to skip out on it.
Say, look at this. You see what I'm saying? This is what it produces: collards, cornbread, all the good stuff. And that's for New Year's, and for Sunday, and for Tuesdays if you want it. Whatever damn day you want to eat it. But that's a traditional thing for our heritage here in the South. And
for sure.
Yeah, it's something.
I know Ella's Nana cooks it every year.
I know my grandma, she cooked them nonstop. Well, I say nonstop. She cooks them nonstop. She cooked them every New Year. And I promise you. All right, well, we were talking about all the hog jaws and pinto beans and the collard greens and all that good stuff about New Year's, but I know we kind of got off out there in left field for something, but we're going to make this in just a little bit longer than we did our very first one or something. We're going to do it to where, if you guys are driving and you're going to say you got to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours to go hunt your spot, flip this on and listen to us tell the truth about everything. No. About 99% of that.
Yeah.
So there goes bullshit in
bullshit.
Probably, but it's...
We might have to twist it. Names might not be listed.
Yes, names are changed to protect others.
And that's for embarrassment and no fist fighting or no incrimination.
Yeah, we can't incriminate anybody. So, all right, so we got... All right, Nathan is 20 years old. And I'm 22. And so, things have changed a lot since I started hog hunting. And things have changed a lot since he started hog hunting.
Yeah, I've seen.
Because we literally started hog hunting at the same time. He's been my hog hunting buddy through thick and thin. Except, I guess when you was probably third through fifth or sixth grade, I couldn't really keep you out too late at night.
Yeah, that's when you were going during the week all the time.
Yeah.
You used to have work.
Yeah.
I went a couple times, but it was rough.
Yeah, getting home at 4 a.m. and taking a shower and trying to eat breakfast and then get ready. And used to I would do it because I'd been out all night partying or whatever, but I was just running dogs, chasing hogs. That was it. So, but a lot of things have changed since then, and a lot of it is not. A lot of it's not really the people. It's the actual animals. Things have changed. Man, hog dogs have came so far. Dude, there are people that are breeding, F1 hybrids for specifics. We do that ourselves. But I know it's been going on for years. We're not, we didn't invent it by no means. No. We're not trying to talk all that.
We are definitely reaping the benefits from the creators of some of these breeds. And some breeders that created some of these breeds would probably murder us in plain daylight for some of the crossbreeds we've produced.
The Drot.
The Drot.
The DD. Dude, I took that damn dog, and I took several of them. We have bred them over everything.
When you get a 9-way cross, you know you're breeding.
Yeah,
9-way cross.
We've had it to where there was just so much in it. It was like it's just a dog.
Literally, you have one dog in the litter that weighs 20 pounds with short hair and a long muzzle. The next one weighs 40 pounds with long hair and a long muzzle.
And one weighs 70 pounds.
Looks like a pit bull.
Looks like a pit bull. And you're like, I don't think we had any pit bull in there.
Yeah, and they're all different colors.
But anyway, that's one of them deals there. Just to each his own. So everybody keep doing what you're doing about, producing what works for you. Because like I said, not everywhere is the same. Guys in Oklahoma, they have to run a little bit different than guys in Mississippi.
Guys different East Texas than West. Texas is a big state with a lot of terrain.
Crazy. But there's so many people, they'll go buy a dog, and one guy will be like, well, this dog right here is a finished dog, and they'll drive out to Texas and pick that dog up, and then they'll bring him to North Carolina and hunt.
Which is mountains versus
nothing but mountains and just cutovers or clear cuts and stuff like that, and that dog is lost. He's still a hog dog and he knows what to do, but he doesn't hunt the way they like it, so automatically, well, that damn dog ain't no good. He sold me a dog that ain't no good. Well, that's not true.
And
maybe you should have done your research. Maybe you should have thought ahead on how you were doing stuff, because that's what really counts.
Yes. And not all dogs hunt the same for everybody.
Shit, no.
I don't know. I never have good luck with timid dogs, but Dad does. I don't care how much time I spend. You can ask Dad. I will spend hours upon hours each week working with some timid dogs sometimes, and they still won't come to me.
Yeah. I walk out there and they come right to me. It's all the energy you give off of, I guess. I don't know.
Then some of them just are weary
of
others, and I have no clue why.
Yep, that's right. So, all right, this episode here has been more about, being a newbie, a beginner. All right, so now that now you're on your first hunt, everything goes good. Now you stick your first hog. All right, how did you feel the first time you stuck a hog?
Like, wow, I just stabbed this pig. That's a lot. It's a lot to process. It's very.
You were really young too.
Powerful, and it's definitely something I remember a lot.
Yeah. Well, you take guys that have deer hunted, coon hunted, rabbit hunted, whatever, with dogs for years and years.
And stuff before. I shot a bunch of coons and none of that.
And that's to say almost everything else is taking place with a gun. Well, and what this does take place with guns. I'm not against doing all that. It just does not work for me.
Yeah,
for us.
97% of the cases, no guns could have helped in any form or fashion.
I don't want them around with us because I don't want my dog shot or me. I had a bad ordeal with it, and the guy about shot me and a friend of mine's wife because he just. I don't know, he went Rambo and went ham on it and just started trying to shoot a 300-pound hog with a little .32 pistol while I was legging it and had a dog on the ear. That scenario didn't turn out good, so that's one reason why we're doing that. We're not against weapons.
He figured out pretty quick, though. It was not the correct procedure.
I've only had 1 or 2 altercations. They got the damn point real quick.
Yeah.
But, the first time I ever... Which I didn't stick a hog to this is when we could tie them up, because here we can't tie hogs up at all.
No more.
We can't have a live hog, period. Now it was liberating, it was like, wow, this is something, because
you never felt more close to it.
Well, yeah, because it's 100% hands-on, and there's not a big margin of error. It either has to happen or it doesn't happen. It's not one of those things where he's like, oops, I slipped and let go of the pig, and then, okay, well, the pig stopped and waited on you. No, it didn't happen. Especially with your bigger hogs, If you get in there with something like that, that dog doesn't do his job and you don't do your job, well, shit's going to go bad.
Yeah.
And that's one, at hog doggers, a lot of guys, they catch a bad rap because they have a lot of dogs. I know guys that have a lot of dogs. We have a lot of dogs. But we spend a lot of money on them and a lot of time with them. That's what takes care of us when we're in the woods. It's what takes care of us here at home too, for the most part. So.
I know between us and Logan, there's 2 hours a day spent at least with them.
Oh yeah,
that's just feeding and watering them.
Yeah, that's going to say that's not spending time with the animal.
Yeah,
that's just the care of that.
Which
taking
I don't
care
ever
of.
rush by and feed my dog. When
No,
I
you
go
gotta
feed
put
a dog,
everyone in.
I feed them. I talk them up. Sometimes they're acting crazy and killing the
Yeah.
water bowl or snatching the chain. Mainly the Jags, the infamous
Yeah.
psychopaths.
Liz,
Yeah.
Lance Criswell.
Yeah, thank you, Lance.
That little dog is a lunatic, and I love it.
Yeah,
Only way I'd ever have them.
she's hot.
And let's say we got a couple more. Let's say what my first hog hunt. We talked about that a little bit. It was my uncle carried me with a friend of his that actually was a friend of mine beforehand. Didn't even realize it was the same guy. And that first hunt, we did not strike a pig. I don't think they ran a hog at all. Yeah, they did. They ran one. We didn't kill one. We didn't catch one. But and that was when you went with us.
I remember
Wasn't
we
it?
went somewhere.
That was down there.
We were in a
Sandy
big
or somewhere.
big cut over there.
Yep. Jeremy Gilliland, Clay Austin.
Yeah, I don't think we killed killed a pig that day.
No.
And
That's
the
what
second time I went was down at Hickory, not Hickory Creek.
I know anyway down on 69.
Yeah, down on 69. And because we stabbed that pig down there,
Yeah.
that freaking
But
10
I've
foot
been
tall.
several times. Other than that, but like I said, I was tying them up. So back then we didn't stick a whole lot. That's been years and years ago. So that's how the sport has changed. You know,
And
for
better
us.
technology
Oh man, technology. So
makes it super easy.
I mean, I don't know how in the world they even done it back then. Because here I am, quick tracking it.
With
Hey.
silent dogs.
That was pretty tough. And that's something we'll get into later on too. Is a silent dog, semi-silent, semi-open, and open. I know a lot of people say that dog's semi-silent. Well, does that mean the same thing as semi-open? No, it does, not to us. Like I said, this is just us and our opinions.
And this is our area, and
Yep.
from talking with other hog hunters around our area, and
Yeah, which
even
there-
from other states.
There's not a lot actually where we live at right now. There's a lot more than there ever.
I say our area, I mean like our state, pretty much.
Yeah, so. But I don't know, I'd probably been 2 or 3 times before I actually stuck one, and the only reason we even stuck it is because it was too big. We couldn't tote, wasn't going to tote it out, and where we were at. Because like I said, in Alabama, it's just mountains. In the area that we're at, not all of Alabama's a mountain, so before everybody gets there,
No
gets all ill and
antagonizes.
stuff and starts talking about how wrong we are, because that happens in this stuff here. But the dogs that we use, like we're talking about, we use a lot of crosses. I know guys that are purist, and my hat's off to each and every one of you, because we are purist at heart on certain things. I have certain breeds that I will cross with another breed, but yet I still keep that bloodline pure over here and over here. You know what I'm saying? I don't just cross and just do whatever. It's every bit of it has a strategy to it, and it's all written down, and it's all kept on a file. This is not just, well, oh, Sally actually got off the chain and Rambo did this and whatever. No, that's not the way we do it. There's a purpose behind every one of it. But like I said, being a new guy, if you're going to get into it, find you some guys that are good-hearted guys, good old boys, and I do mean good old boys. That like to hunt and that don't mind taking you with them. They will help you get started. They'll help you with dogs. I've given away so many dogs, it ain't even funny. I'm talking about, and then next week kicking my own ass because I'm like, I should give that dog, but I'm not going to give you my junk. I'm not going to pawn my junk off on you, because if it's junk number one, I'm not going to feed it. It costs the same amount to feed a sorry dog
As a $10,000
that won't
one.
work as it will for a dog that will work. And a lot of dogs are bred up the same. Whole litters turn out. Sometimes they don't. I've had a whole litter work, and I've had a whole litter that didn't work. And I've had it all in between. And I'm sure any of you guys that's bred dogs for yourself, which we don't sell dogs and we don't puppy mill dogs, don't do all that. There's nothing against it. If that's what you want to do, it's your business, not mine. I ain't paying your bills, so I don't care.
Not my dogs.
That's right. I just got to feed all our dogs. But like I said, we encourage all you veteran hog hunters out here, the guys that have done this stuff, take some new guys, and I know most of y'all do, and, you know, introduce them to it. Try to teach them the right thing. Try to teach them how you were taught to do it, and not to be a lying, conniving, cheap backstabber, you know, lock busting trespasser, because that happens all the time. And then that's what gives us a bad name. It gives all the other guys that are out here doing this. We try to help people. You know, there's a lot of farmers that count on us. They count on us to come in there and to make sure that, hey, are we going to be able to get this corn out this year? You know, and there's a lot of times where we feel like we just, you know, I feel let down myself, because I'm like, I thought we could kill more than 100. You know, maybe I didn't hunt as much as I could have, but I'm doing all I can.
Like maybe you said sleeping in that one Saturday, we should have went
on and done it. Yeah, it's like, but you know, just keep pushing it. Get the kids out there. You know, get them off the couch. The whole world has changed now to where everybody has a phone in their hand, or they've got a laptop or video game. Adults do. I mean, senior citizens do, children do, all of it. But if you can get that youngin' up off the couch, get him out in the woods and on the water, that will teach them a lot of lessons in life that they'll never learn by watching TV or on that cell phone or playing Mortal Kombat or whatever they play now. I don't even know what the names of them are. I mean, the only stuff I know like that is military stuff. What is that?
Call of Duty.
Games. What is it?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty stuff. Mine's a Foxfire book. That's what I'm talking about. Get them a Foxfire book. Let them learn some stuff.
I don't know very many. Which video games aren't the devil? They can be used as good as
well, yeah. I mean,
you can wind down in the evening, but I know,
let it control them.
Yeah, okay. I know plenty of adults that are addicted to TV.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's what I said.
They'll sit there. They get off work and they sit on the couch and they watch TV from the time they get off work to the time they go home.
Until the time they go to bed.
Yeah, to the time they go to bed for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I know a lot of them that sit there and play video games, do the same stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in between our age at 30 years old who they were older when video games first started getting popular, but their parents were like, no, we're not buying that. And then they got adult money and they're like,
now they
can't nobody tell me no.
Well, I mean,
I don't blame them.
I understand that too, but it's just like I said.
Well, it's like your generation, y'all got adult money. You bought what you wanted when you were a kid.
Shit, yeah, tried to, which I didn't. I mean,
you got stuck with kids.
I didn't say I had kids, but shit, I was a kid and was raising a half a dozen kids.
Just imagine all the stuff you could have bought if you didn't have kids.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Cool. Why do you think y'all's Christmases were so cool? Because I was like, ooh, I want that. I can get this for all my boys. And I can get this, and then, you know, get this for the girls or whatever. You know, anything I wanted, I was like, yeah. And the girls were like, why don't we get four-wheelers? Well, I'm living vicariously through you. Know,
Dad, can I ride my four-wheeler now?
No, get off. Leave me alone. I buy the gas. I'm going to ride this damn four-wheeler. So, anyway, guys, like I said, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Give us some feedback. Pretty soon we're gonna try to get an actual open line to where you can call in and we can talk, you know, maybe do some stuff over the phone, because, you know, we still got this COVID mess and all that, so that still restricts and limits a lot of people's capabilities to travel and to do things like that. So just, you know, keep everybody stay safe, and, you know, don't be a sheep. Just remember, we love you. So, we appreciate y'all. Until next time, we'll see you.